years back. Well, I'll let the poem speak for itself. I'll talk too much as it is. Let's call it IDK it, or Celestial Ladders. I often find myself climbing ladders into the heavens to steal burning stars from their respective places to place into the space we call home. Delicately dressing you in celestial linen so you'll never feel alone. Girl, you are the only star I'll ever need. She's nourished within me a desire to grow much like Tupac's rose. Only this time, the concrete was froze. So I spit liquid lava to melt the cold shoulder of these haters, hating the fact that their hate hasn't hurt love's soul. Love's grown cold, so we retire to our own. Living life just for selfish gain. See, I'm throwing up metaphors because umbrellas can't handle this rain. It's insane the way pain can drain one of our feeling. So now we've become numb to it, like outdated smoke alarms on the ceiling, no matter whether they're glass or painted. So now I'm running through time as if it were a tangible being, holding on to it, perceiving its placement and meaning within my being. I'm believing I'm leaving that phrase, not enough time behind the mind. It would be a crime to misuse the time I already have, so call it timeless. So I use this time to detox and de-stress because I detest the stress the rest of humanity is left with. So I turn my ear deaf to it, which makes me a poet indefinitely. You see, these words were destined to be, but the poet's vested in me. I'm inspired. God breathed and created me in his image. Well, an image is nothing more than what the mind perceives to be before you. So before I write for you, you must realize that I've come before you today, or tonight, to give you a piece of me and turn it into a piece of we so that we ourselves can share the energy that this poem was meant to be. They say what goes around comes around, so I'm writing spherically. I spit cyclic reverie because we're sick with this melody. I'm spitting melodical thoughts because I was methodically taught. I was Padawan to some of the greatest Jedi masters this art form has ever seen. And if you're hearing Theory's voice through me, it's because on her teachings I lean. So watch the hands, watch the hands, watch the hands. As a Jedi mind tricks you again. That's the end of that joint. Yeah. Here comes the fun part. I get to have fun, yay. This next piece, I want you to more so listen to the way the words interact with themselves. I mean, yes, it does have a message, but I really wrote it just to see if I could write it. So this one's called Imagination Illumination. Hopefully I don't stumble through it. Imagination Illumination. 40 watts like 40 shots of 400 cc's of insulin spent, sent to counteract the sweet sugar spit, attracting you ants to the mound on my sacred ground. Zero. Sanctified poetry. My path is the ark of your mental sanctuary. By definition, poets redefine the dictionary. They're calling us visionaries like we're subliminal, like an area like Ethereal, but they call me ethereal. You see, we are more than the stencil graphics created by the stigmas we choose not to follow after. Our laughter goes unheard when someone says poetry and rap are the same thing. Shaking our heads as we smile at these earthlings. See, we are floating through the universe because this galaxy is really made of ink, and it is redesigned with every line that traverses the barrel of my ballpoint, glides across the finest cotton blend, descends into the paper, and is lifted out again with the wind from a poet's lungs. Tongues of flaming evangelism, searing my mouth like poets practice cannibalism. Catching my symbolism like a child in the catechism, my job is to encapsulate your mind in the fabric that traverses the chasm of your brain, causing mental spasms. My pen's soul is made whole by the array of the barrage of camouflage and the way I hoard metaphors from the score of horrors of you who claim to be P-O-E-T. See, even if you were genetically reborn, the son of my mother on the 18th of May, like today was my birthday, you could never write like me, you see. I write to break the chains of ignorance that binds the minds of those who spend their time wasting away in bars behind lines of destruction. So cocaine rain infiltrates the brain as I rewind this line to find you losing yourself. So rewind the brain to infiltrate the rain of lyrical cocaine used to destroy these lines behind bars with the way of wasting time. Links and bonds.
Come on.
My bad.
All right.
That line is like ridiculous. I write to break the chains of ignorance that binds the minds of those who spend their time wasting away in the bars behind lines of destruction. Cocaine rain infiltrates the brain as I rewind this line to find you losing yourself. So rewind the brain to infiltrate the rain of lyrical cocaine used to destroy these lines behind bars as a way of wasting time. Links and bonds in the chains of ignorance you refuse to break free of, and my pen needs to be free. See, my pen is a catastrophe, a fiasco of cataclysmic proportions. It's purportedly the reason the riot act was initiated, inundated with a flood of foreshadowing and a sea of similes, giving lessons on CP time of CP poetry, so I assimilate with a cacophony of irates. My ballpoint gyrates and migrates across lands before time. Like I write with the might of a dino. A dino might boom try to T-Rex you, the next fool who'll fall prey to fall's prey. So amen or amen mentions these men being shunned for a lack of forgiveness. So forgive this mystery of iniquity, but the hills chills the blood running within me, and I am cold like an iced cappuccino, letting caps fly at chinos or kinkos for the kids trying to copy me. So why don't you cop MECD? See, this is the dictionary of your dreams. Webs of stars for Webster's, I'm Siskel and Ebert. Systems of eagles, system of a down manufacturing psychological sound, infiltrating your dreams like the inception of this poem, the rebirth of true lyricism. Yay! Protected by an ominous lock from Gringotts, subterranean chambers encompassing the mind of Odysseus, leaving behind a trail of hideous, villainous death and despair for these poets that don't care enough to develop their craft properly. Those who don't spend nearly enough effort and time into writing their lines, but they'll spend their whole life trying to flip a dime. So flip a coin. Heads or tails. Drugs or sex. But in this economy, sex sells, so they write Gomorrah a constitution for prostitution, while sodomizing any good habits you may or may not have. Becoming a sacrificial calf for these streets. A murder for break beats. Oscar Grant for peace, and my soul is well aware. See, my soul is well aware of the explosives beneath my feet, so let me blow up, just so I can say I got lifted. Because in the words of Saul Williams, before death is eternity, after death is eternity, there is no death, there's only eternity. And I be writing on the backs of these wings of eternity because you said these same wings will take me, a black man in the hood, higher. So let's rewind back to the time when my parents' sex cells came together to create me. I was born 20,000 Negro leagues beneath the sea for that allows me to foresee these words before they become poetry. All right. I'm the American. All me right. Reeking, coast, all posting all poets up like in paint priming. I'm in haste, priming this rhyming like a bomb, ready to detonate within the catacombs of Flint's crime rates, the inner recesses of our history. So now I'm a sharpshooter, premeditating, assassinating the future generations as if history went and had a hysterectomy, singing melancholy polyphony. So now I've become a sharpshooter, and I'm premeditating, assassinating the future generations as if history went and had a hysterectomy, singing melancholy polyphony, like divided we stand united and let them fall alone. But insert a comma, and it becomes divided, we'll stand united, let them fall alone, as if they had no proprioception. So now I'm second guessing the orientation and placement of my limbs as if this was kinetic deception, causing you to question that which has always been, as if you never were her. Add an E, she's here. But add an O and she becomes a stronger heroine than any DEA could ever see. Grade A, top of the line Californication between the preacher, his weed man, and his wife. Ooh. So medically marry who you wanna. But laws, I didn't catch that. So medically marry who you wanna. But laws can be flawed. See, this isn't Isaac Asimov, but as I move, I see that life isn't about who wins when you lose. Cool. Hey, I'm almost done. We are almost done here. I have one more poem that I have, like, if I didn't do it, I would be shot in the head by J. Plan B. Price back there. I wrote a tribute to one of my favorite poets, the great 13 of Nazareth. And it's it's about equal opportunity between African Americans and the rest of